Good evening and welcome to the SBC News for this Thursday evening. The National Assembly has proposed a series of measures aimed at sustaining stevedores in their jobs, which were presented in a motion by the Plaisance MNA Richard Labrosse in the National Assembly session yesterday. The motion is also part of the continued efforts of parliamentarians to improve the working conditions of stevedores, as well as to look at challenges faced by companies which employ them. Mr. Labrosse proposed that businesses and the government come together to identify alternative jobs for stevedores when there are no loading and unloading activities in the ports. The National Assembly has called on government to review how commercial and governmental activities are taking place in Victoria. Ganton Samai's MNA, Wevan William, says he has come up with a motion because of the speed of development and the inconveniences that come along with it. So there is a need to speed up the decentralization of services, to revisit the National Development Plan and hence digitalization of services, amongst others, so as to ease congestion in the capital and reduce wastage of time. Members agreed that there must be a reflection on if Victoria is to remain the hub of commercial and economic activities, and that decentralization of services must continue. The Minister for Finance, National Planning and Commerce, Nadia Hassan, will present the 2023 budget to the National Assembly at 9 a.m. tomorrow. A sum of over 10 billion rupees has been proposed for next year's budget. The speech by Minister Hassan will be broadcast live on SBC2 and Radio Seychelles. The Ministry of Transport has launched a project to research how to best introduce the electric buses in the country. The Electronic Mobility Project is being done with support from UNEP, a section of the United Nations. The ministry aims to replace all the SPTC buses with electronic buses eventually. The SPTC currently has over 200 buses, all of which run on fuel. According to Jeffrey Zialo, representative of the SPTC, they use approximately 20,000 litres of fuel per month. Globally, the transportation sector contributes to a quarter of all energy-related carbon dioxide emissions. Elvis Octave, the chief technical advisor for the project, believes that replacing the buses will greatly reduce the emission of greenhouse gases.
This project, the Electric Mobility Seychelles, is to set the environment to accelerate the shift to electric mobility in the Seychelles. The transport sector contributes about 1/4 of the global greenhouse gas emission. So electrification of the transportation sector is the way to reduce the carbon emission into the atmosphere. We're planning to charge the vehicle using renewable energy. And even if we go on the grid now, the amount of energy you need to charge a vehicle is produce less carbon dioxide release in the atmosphere as compared to running a vehicle on a full fuel tank. But the project is aiming to go towards renewable energy for charging of the vehicles.
Parents with Hope, an association regrouping parents of drug addicts, is pursuing plans to support each other and get the government to set up a halfway home for the young addicts. Members of the association met with President Rommel Kalawan at State House this morning to share their plans and put across their concerns. The chairperson, Edna Jean, said the president had put forward the idea of a rehabilitation center for the addicts. Until the project materializes, Parents with Hope will continue with counseling sessions for members, and Mrs. Jean has called on parents of drug addicts to continue to support each other. A 20-year-old man, Darius Mathiot, who is from Baudamier-en-Soupin, has escaped from police custody. Darius evaded the police after being taken to the Seychelles hospital for medical attention. According to police, when he escaped, He had handcuffs still attached to one hand. Darius was in police detention following multiple reports of his affiliation with the recent breaking and entering of multiple properties in the Ensopin area, upon which investigations are still ongoing. In view of his escape, the police is calling on anyone who knows his whereabouts to contact the nearest police station or the Ensopin police station. President Rommel Kalawan is to lead the Seychelles delegation to the United Nations Conference on Climate Change, COP27. The annual conference is to take place from the 6th to the 18th of this month in the Egyptian resort town of Sharm el-Sheikh. It's part of global efforts to promote decisive actions on climate goals as agreed under the Internal Treaty on Climate Change signed in Paris. During his mission in Egypt, the President will also engage in various other side events and bilateral talks relevant for Seychelles. The President will be absent from the country from the 5th to the 13th of November. During his absence, his duties and responsibilities will be discharged by Vice President Ahmed Afif. And it's with this that we come to the end of this news summary. We'll be back at 8 with the news in Creole. Have a very pleasant evening.